Okay, guys, it's good to be back. Wish I was there with you, but unfortunately, I'm still in DC, and hopefully, everything went well yesterday. What I'm going to do tonight or today is to teach you about inverse functions. All right, then once I get done with this, I'm going to go back to writing the equations of the parallels and perpendiculars. All right, I really think for you guys, inverse function is going to be easy. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. All right, whenever you want to find the inverse function, right, it literally means you just switch the x and the y. All right, so let me give you an example. All right, let's talk about number one. All right, whenever you want to find the inverse, what did I say you do? You just switch the x and y. So the inverse for question number one would be -1, 9. Then it would be -4, -7, -7, -5, -10, -3, -13, -1. Again, notice what I did. The x's became the y's, and the y's became the x's. That is all there is to inverse functions. All right? Very, very, very easy. All right? So let's take a look at number two. All right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, make the little table. And then we are going to put x, y, and then it would be 8. Sorry about that. It would be 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, all I did was I changed the x's to the y's and the y's to the x's. All right? So one last example here for question number 3. X, y, -2, -1, 1, 0, 2. -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. All right? So again, hopefully you agree that's very easy. That's if it's in a table form. All right? Now, we're going to take a look at it if it's written as ordered pairs. All right? So let's talk about how simple that would be. 2, -3, 8, -1, 14, 1, and 20, 3. All right? So again, one more time. All right? All I did was the x became the y, and the y became the x. All right? So hopefully you feel good about that. All right? Let's just continue on real quick. Again, -3, 5. -9, 2, -15, -1, -21, -4. Easy, very, very easy. All right. Again, try number 6. All we're going to do, switch the x and y. 6, 4, 1, 3, -4, 2, -9, and 1. Anytime you want to find the inverse of a function, you just simply switch the x and y. All right, number 7. All right, 16, -1, 12, -2, 8, -3, 4, -4. All right, anybody have any questions with that? All right, again, one last time. Anytime you want to find the inverse, you just have to switch to x and y. All right? Now we're going to do a little bit harder. All right? A little bit harder. I'm going to now teach you how to graph the inverse real quick. All right? So what we have to do is we're going to have to identify 2 points that are on the graph. All right? Look right here. I found one there. And it looks like I found one right here. Now, again, those 2 points that we found we're 0, negative 4. And it looks like 10, comma, 0. Alright, notice they're counting by 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that was 10, 0. Alright, so now again, what did I say? How easy is it to graph the inverse? All you do is you just switch the x and the y. So the new points are going to be negative 4, 0, and 0, 10. So now let's plot those points. Negative 4, 0, and 0, 10. Way up here. And guess what? That is all there is to graphing the inverse. Alright? So again, let's try again on number 9. Alright, I'm looking at this point right here. And I'm looking at this point right here. I'm going to identify those points. That would be 0, 6. And this point over here would be 6, 4. Alright? So now to graph the inverse, right, you switch the x and y, plot the points. So now I'm going to plot 6, 0, and then I'm going to plot 4, 6. Alright, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph those lines. Okay, I'm going to do that. Alright. That's the inverse. Alright, hopefully feel that's pretty easy. Alright, a little bit easier than what you did yesterday. Alright, so again, I'm going to come over here real quick. I'm going to see this point right here. I'm going to see that point right there. And identify those 2 points. Alright, the one on the left is negative 6, negative 6, and negative 4, 2. Alright, so we're going to graph the inverse. Switching. Notice negative 6 is not a big deal because that stays the same. 2, negative 4. Alright. Now we're going to graph those points. Negative 6, and then 2, negative 4. Alright. And then let's graph those. Alright. Very, very important, but again, pretty easy. Alright. So again, almost done. Alright, those are 3 techniques with the table, with ordered pairs, and with lines. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to graph, or not graph, but find the inverse of an equation. Alright, now again, I need you to remember this is in functional notation. So we say fx equals 8x minus 5. So what I want you to do is, I want you to rewrite it as y equals 8x minus 5. Alright? Same principle. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch the x and I'm going to switch the y. Wherever I see a y, I replace it with x. So I have x is equal to 8y minus 5. Alright? Now once you do that, you have to solve it for y. Alright? So now when we solve this for y, we're going to add 5 to both sides. So x plus 5 equals 8y. And then we're going to divide everything through by 8. So I have, what I'm going to do is just move this over so we can see it better. Alright, I'm just going to divide everything through by 8. I'm just going to draw this step out just to show you. Alright, so I say y is equal to x over 8 plus 5/8. Okay, that is considered the inverse. Alright, now I want to show you the inverse symbol. The inverse symbol is f to the negative 1 of x equals x over 8 plus 5/8. So again, this symbol right here just means inverse. Alright, so that just designates that as an inverse. Alright, so hopefully you understand that. Alright, all we're doing is we're switching the x and the y. That's all there is to it. Alright, let me shrink that down, and let's try number 12. Okay, so question number 12 again. Get back to business here. So we see that y is equal to 6x plus 42. I just went ahead and distribute. Shouldn't be a big deal. Alright. Now we're going to switch the x and y. So x is equal to 6y plus 42. Now we're going to solve for y by subtracting 42. X minus 42 equals 6y. Now divide everything by 6. So now we would say y is equal to x over 6 minus 7. We're going to write the right symbol, f of negative 1 of x, which just means the inverse of that function is x over 6 minus 7. Very easy. Alright, check out number 13 again. So again, we're going to write y equals 3/4 x plus 9. X equals 3/4 y plus 9. Again, we just switch the x and y. Now we just solve. X minus 9 equals 3/4 y. And now multiply by the reciprocal. So y is equal to 4/3 times x minus 9. Again, remember I want you to write the symbolic f of negative 1 of x is equal to 4/3 x minus 9. Alright? So again, just stay with me one more time. This is symbol for inverse. Alright? And again, to find the inverse of an equation, you simply switch the x and y. Alright, let's take a look at 14. So, x equals negative 16 plus 2/5 y. X plus 16 equals 2/5 y. And then what do I do with the 2/5? We multiply by the reciprocal. Alright? So y is equal to the reciprocal of 2/5 is 5/2. X plus 16. Alright? F negative 1 of x is equal to 5/2 x plus 16. Alright? Hopefully feeling good. Same principle. This is technically the y, so I'm going to change that to x. 3y is 5 over 4. Now, again, how do I undo division and multiplication? Multiply both sides by 4. So now I have 3y plus 5 equals 4x, because these things cancel. Alright, now from there, all I'm going to do is subtract 5 from both sides. So we would say 3y, sorry about that, we would say 3y is equal to 4x minus 5, and divide by 3. Y equals 4/3 x minus 5/3. Alright? Hopefully that's making sense for you guys. Again, we're just switching x and y, solving for the new y. Alright, and let's just go ahead and write the symbolism. F negative 1 of x is equal to 4/3 x minus 5/3. Alright, so I'm going to shrink that out of the way. That would be the final answer to question 15. Alright, last one, because we're going to hold off on the word problems. When I get back, we'll talk more about those. Alright, so don't worry about that. Last one for here. Alright, so again, we would say x equals negative 4x plus 1 over 5. Again, practicing. Getting rid of dividing by 5. Multiply both sides by 5. So I have 5x is equal to negative 4x plus 1. I'm sorry, I did not change this x to a y. Sorry about that. 4y plus 1. Alright, which makes this guy down here 4y plus 1. Alright, sorry about that, but go back and double check. See, this x became a y. Alright, now I subtract 1 from both sides. So we would say 5x minus 1 equals equals negative 4y. And then I'm just going to move this over so I can show you the last step just to make sure you're clear. All right, now we'll divide everything through by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. So we would say y is equal to negative 5/4 x plus 1/4. Alright? So f of negative 1 of x equals negative 5/4 x plus 1/4. Again, final answer. Again, not too bad. Alright, please listen. If you're having trouble, go back, listen to the tape, go slow. It's really simple. Switch x and y whenever you want to find the inverse. Okay, now what I want to do is I have about maybe 10 more minutes for you, but what I want to do is I want to go back to that old worksheet where you had to graph or write the equations of the lines that are parallel and perpendicular. All right? So let's talk about parallel. All right? Now, in this case, all right, anytime something is parallel, I want you to write the slope of the parallel. Remember, the slope of the parallel line was the same, so it would be negative 4 passing through the point, negative 2, 5. All right, so we're going to write the equation. Now again, I still recommend you use point slope form. So it would be y minus 5 equals negative 4 times x plus 2. All right. Then what are we going to do? We're going to put it into slope-intercept form, so I have to distribute the negative 4. When I do that, y minus 5 equals negative 4x minus 8. And we're going to add 5 to both sides, so y equals negative 4x minus 3. Alright? So hopefully you remember that now. Alright, anytime you want to do parallel lines have the same slopes. Alright, so with that, alright, let's slide over and do the next one. Alright, and let's take a look at question number 4. Alright, so question number 4 is slope of the parallel line would have to be 2/5, and it passes through the point 5, 4. Alright, so now we're going to do the point slope form. So it'd be y minus 4 equals 2/5 times x minus 5. Alright, now from there, what we're going to do is we're going to do the distributive property. So we say y minus 4 equals 2/5 times x minus 2. Now remember, to do this, you're going 2 times 5, and you're multiplying the fraction. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Alright? Hopefully you're okay with that. Okay, so let's continue on. Alright? What I want to do now is I want to jump down to question number 14. Alright, and I want to talk about perpendicular lines. Now, if you recall, I said I wanted you to convert this just to point slope form. Alright, so this should be a little bit easier. So I want the slope of the perpendicular. Alright, so in order to find the slope of the perpendicular, I have to convert this over to the correct equation. Alright, and what that would be is x minus 5 is equal to y. So now this right here, the slope is 1. So we would say the slope of the perpendicular would be negative 1, because the negative reciprocal of 1 would be negative 1. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write out the equation in point slope form. So it would be y minus 5 equals negative 1 times x plus 6. let's go ahead and take a look at question 16. Alright, I need to find the slope, so I have to subtract x. So 5y equals negative x plus 15, dividing by 5. Y equals negative 1/5 x plus 3. Alright, so now that I know the slope of this line over here is negative 1/5, right? I know then the slope of the perpendicular would be the negative reciprocal, so that would just be 5. Alright, now I'm going to write it in point slope form. Y minus 1 equals 5 times x minus 0. Alright, so those are two example questions, alright, that I want you to look over. Alright, make sure you're good with that. Alright. Now, on question 20, we have to write it in standard form now. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. Alright, so in order to do standard form of the perpendicular, I've got to solve for y. So we're going to say 4y is equal to negative 5 x plus 8. So y is equal to negative 5/4 x plus 8. Alright, so I'm going to say the slope of the perpendicular is the negative reciprocal. So that would be 4/5. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start out in point slope form using this point with this slope. So I have y minus 5 equals 4/5 times x minus 10. Alright, now if you recall, I told you that when you're writing in standard form, alright, when you're writing in standard form, you can't have fractions. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this 5 by multiplying both sides of the equation by 5. So I'm going to multiply that by 5, multiply this side by 5. Then these would cancel. Alright, so we're going to distribute the 5, and I get 5y minus 25 is equal to, and now we're going to distribute the 4x minus 40. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the x and y are on the same side of the equation, and x is positive. So that means I'm going to take this 5y, and we're going to move it over here, take a minus 40, and move it over there. Okay, and when I do that, alright, I end up with 4x. I move the 5y, so it becomes negative. I move the negative 40, so it becomes positive 40. So then it's 4x minus 5y plus 15. Okay? So again, that now is a good review of graphing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines, and also going through all of the different forms. Alright? So please review. Alright? Very important section on writing inverses, alright, and I don't think that was the hard part, alright. So again, hopefully you guys are having a great time. I definitely miss seeing your smiling faces, and I will be back soon. But please review. You definitely need to be experts at writing the equations of lines. Have a great day, guys.